Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is going to be the third episode in how to write a poetry book series. Now for those of you who haven't seen the first two episodes, just a bit of a recap. So how to write a poetry book, I started this series about a month back, and in the first episode I gave a few basic tips that you should keep in mind while writing down poems for a poetry book, for a prospective poetry collection, while putting your poems together, and before finally submitting it to a prospective publisher. In the second episode of this series, I specifically talked about the theme based approach. That is, if you want to curate your poetry collection around a particular theme, let's say you want all your poems to be about city, or you want all your poems to be about nature, then your collection will be around a particular theme. So, about that, I talked in detail in the second episode. Now, in this episode, the third episode, I'm going to give you 5 basic tips on putting your poems together for a prospective poetry collection. Things you need to keep in mind before finally sending your poems to prospective publishers. So, let's get started. The first tip would be that you should always keep the number of poems less. Now, I talked about this in my first series as well, but here I want to emphasize this again, and I want to focus on it that as poets, we are often tempted to include a huge number of poems. We love all our poems, but follow it as a golden rule. And if you want to take my advice, and keep the number of poems for your poetry collection less. If you write short poems, then maybe 50 poems max. And if you write long poems or medium length poems, then perhaps 35 to 40 poems would suffice. Trust me, it really works. Keep it short and simple and clutter free, because if you keep in too many poems, then you would have problems editing those poems, and also you would have problems, categorizing those poems, and it would look all half-assed, whereas it's easier to manage a lesser number of poems. And also it's psychological for somebody, for a publishing house also, who is seeing your manuscript. If they see too many poems, if you put in 100 poems in a manuscript, then they're just bound to pass it off, and because they don't have that kind of time. But if you just put in 35, 40 poems, and they might just look at it, and you might just get a chance to get published. And even after the book is published and it is out in the market, out on the bookshelves or wherever, from a reader's point of view, also a reader much prefers reading a poetry book which has less number of poems, because it's sort of less taxing on the reader's attention span, on their mind span. So try and keep the number of poems less is what I would say, and I'm talking about it from my own experience. So that was the first tip. Now the second tip would be that pay a lot of attention, extra attention in fact, to the cover of the book and the title of the book. Now, this is something which a lot of us as poets ignore. We have spent a lot of time putting the poems together, even writing new poems for the collection, and there's a lot of hard work that has gone through the entire process. And finally, by the end of it, we are mentally so exhausted and tired that when it comes to the title of the book, we probably just take the easy way out and just think about anything, or just take one poem from the collection, just write it down, write the title of that poem and other poems. But don't take the easy way out. Don't just give a title to your collection for the sake of it. The title of your poetry collection is the most important thing of the collection at all. It is what people will see first when they see the cover, and that is what will prompt them to buy the collection. So pay a lot of attention, think about the title of your collection. In fact, even as you're planning the book, in the initial stages only, if you can think about the title itself, that will be very good. Don't leave it for the last moment, and give a lot of thought to the title of your collection. And then we come to the cover of the poetry of your prospective poetry collection. Now the cover is very important. It's the most important thing, because it is what people will see first when they see your book on a bookshelf, and even on Amazon they do check out the cover of your book. So do pay a lot of attention to how you want the cover of the book to be. Of course, if you're going through a publisher, then the publisher takes care of the cover design, that who will design the cover, the technical part. But I think the conceptual part, even before you send your manuscript to a publisher, you should have a hang of it, that how you want the cover to look, because it's your it's your product, you own the book, so you have to be passionate about the message that goes out in front of the people. So do sort of spend some time on how you want the cover to look, and especially if you're self-publishing the book, then it becomes even more important, because then you have to yourself collaborate with the designer and pay attention to the cover of the book. The cover should be catchy, trendy, and most of all, it should not be too loud, of course, but it should definitely have a visual appeal, and the colors should stand out, and the theme of your collection, most importantly, should stand out. Should stand out in the cover, and people should be like, when they look at the cover, they'll be like, they should be like, this is something unique, and the cover image should stay in their mind. That should be the sort of, that should be the strong message of the covers. So do spend time on planning the cover, thinking about the cover before you send your poetry manuscript to publishers. So that was the second tip. The third tip is edit your poems. Now this is something which is very important, and I learned it the hard way. I've got 2 poetry collections out till date, and the first poetry collection, I would be honest, I didn't edit my poems, and most of the poems were published as it is. But for my second poetry collection, it was rejected by a publisher because they think that the poems needed a lot of editing, and as far as I am concerned, I had never edited my poems before, so I really didn't know how to edit those poems. I had no clue. But when I got my second publisher, Red River, for my second poetry book, I'd Like a Bit of the Moon, then the publisher literally taught me how to edit my own poems, and they helped me through the entire process. It took a couple of months, and there was a lot of back and forth between me and the publisher, and finally, after a lot of editing, the poems have been published. So I learned it the hard way, because my poems were rejected by a publisher, as I said, but then I found such a good publisher, amazing publisher, who helped me edit my own poems, taught me the whole process. But you might not be as lucky as I am in terms of getting editorial help from a publisher. So before you send out your poems for publication, make it a point to edit your own poems, and it will need a separate tutorial on how to edit your own poems, but just in brief, in very short, it's just basically literally looking at your poems again and seeing that if there's a word which has to be changed, then change that word, find an appropriate word, because what happens when we are writing spontaneously and going with the flow is that some words fit, but sometimes we don't get words to, to sort of progress the flow, and then we just use any word without thinking about it too much, just because we want to complete the poem and we are in the flow. So you're getting my point. So if you find those words which are not matching, which are not conveying the appropriate meaning, or you think these words are odd here, then try and find new words and change those words, or just trim your poem, remove unwanted words, weed out unwanted words. That's a golden rule of poetry editing. Unwanted words are not required. And we, as poets, we have this tendency to be verbose, to use a lot of words. So any unwanted words, if the meaning can be conveyed without those words, and if they're repetitions, just omit those repetitions. So just trim your poem and make it as precise and concise as possible. So edit your poems. And now the fourth tip is that after you've edited your poems, take a look at all your poems again, and once you've taken a look at your poems again, then see if there's some poems that cannot be edited, that are not sort of matching with the rest of the collection. If some poems you think are not needed, then be ruthless with your own work and just omit those poems. As I said, the golden rule is to keep the number of poems as less as possible, and don't give in to the temptation of including many poems. The collection, even if it's not theme based, should have a certain coherence to it. So if you think some poems are strange, they're not fitting in merging with the rest of the collection, or if you think after editing you think those poems are not as good as the rest of the poems, then just take them out. Because that is the basic principle of any kind of editing. When you look at something first, then it seems okay. But when you look at it again after a period of 1 month, then you will find some fault. You look at it again after another month, you'll find some more fault. So you have to keep revisiting your manuscript, and it's a long and patient process. So this was the fourth tip. And the fifth and the last tip is that spend time thinking about the meaning of your own poems. Now this is very important, and it's again something I really did not do for my first collection, and for my second collection I'm still trying to do it. But this is very important, as I said. If you've written poems, as artists, as creative people, we have this tendency to just write stuff and then not really think about it. So if somebody asks us for an explanation, we'll be like, how do I explain poetry? Poetry doesn't need explanation, it's subjective. It's that kind of thing that, artists paint something, and then when somebody asks them the meaning of it, they don't know what to say. So, but we have to sort of get out of this tendency if we want a poetry book to be out in the market, because when people are spending money on your book, then it's out there as a cultural product, and if they think they will think it's worth investing only if you are able to sort of convey the meaning of your poems. So spend some time reading your own poems again and again, and think about the meaning of the poems, what you want to say in each poem. Just make a gist of what you want to say in each poem, and trust me, it will help you a lot when you are submitting a manuscript to a publisher, because even the publisher, before they publish the book, want to know what you are trying to say through those poems, because they will spend money on you, obviously, and they will have events to promote you. So obviously they want to know what you're saying through the collection, so you can't be clueless about that. So do spend a considerable amount of time thinking about your own poems, and you should be able to coherently explain the theme of your poems and the gist of your poems. So this is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and please do let me know in the comments section if these suggestions helped you, and if there's anything else, any other kind of content you would like to see in this series. And also please do subscribe to this channel, and please do share the video. And please don't forget to press the bell icon on the top right hand corner to get regular notifications and updates on my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for listening.